Okay.
Hello and welcome. My clock is chiming. It is 4:30. Welcome. I'm Morgan Hazelwood, and it's Sunday. It's afternoon, and that means it's time for me to be productive. I've got some edits I'd like to get through, and the end of the month is coming at me quickly. So,
with a knife.
Indeed. Oops.
say hi to the nice people.
Hi, nice people.
Hi, I'm Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things.
And I'm Doc Coleman. I write mad science, manners, and mayhem. And when I'm not on podcast, playing straight man so that Morgan stays amused.
I'm actually writing today. Fiction. Writing fiction.
New fiction.
Yeah.
Exciting new fiction. Do you want to tell us any more about your exciting new fiction, or we just guess?
I am in chapter 2, episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to write a scene. Like, I had a prompt for a scene, like a beat. And I never wrote it. So I'm writing it from scratch.
Cool.
Awesome.
I'm still doing boring edits on the Kindred of Kali, but I think next week I may be shifting gears to work on a short story for a new anthology.
You go you.
Yep. Let's see, in the Forgotten Lore series that A Cast of Crows is the first part of, which technically A Cast of Crows hasn't come out because the official release date is 1 October.
Oh.
But we're going to start working on volume 2 soon. Because I believe the Kickstarter, I think the Kickstarter is going to be starting in August. I could be off on my dates on that, but
I hear that August is supposed to be the best month to do a Kickstarter. So
and it's like if we're not going to be kickstarting in August, we're going to start doing pre-publicity for the Kickstarter. So we'll find out real soon.
Well, that's good to know, because I know my blog drops off a lot in July and August. So,
well, I think people start doing vacations and getting out. It definitely seems like August is the month for vacations, because it's like
too hot to do anything else.
I don't know, but it's like in my office, you can't get anything done in August because too many people are out. I guess part of that is people realize it's their last chance to have vacations before school starts up. But
a lot of people, a lot of events schedule for August.
Really?
Yeah, like Penzic is always
same
week.
Penzic is once again ruining my birthday. Because yes, Penzic ruins my birthday every year because I can never have a birthday party because all my friends go to Penzic for land grab. So
they need to start delegating land grab.
I'm not doing land grab this year. I'm actually going to spend I'm going to spend Peace Week with my husband because we finally have the house to ourselves. And then August 6th, I will go to a hafla in Glen Echo and then go to
you decided to hit it on the way up?
I don't know how the timing is going to work. I don't want to set up in the dark.
Yeah, I get that. So I'm going to pop into the comments real quick. Let's see. Rita swung by. Hello.
Hi,
Rita always forgets about my stream, is working through word count and the writer's journal notebook. Heather swung by to pop that like button and wishes us a great writing session. Rita says usually she's got somebody else to sprint with. And Andy swung by and is working on some short stories.
Neat.
So awesome. I just deleted 2 scenes just past the climax on the second half of the climax of my book. And I have to completely rewrite them because instead of justice happening by coincidence, I think instead of stumbling across the ship they damaged them, instead maybe we should have the authorities having captured those people and then confront them in like the law space is a little less coincidency and more. So I'm rebuilding these scenes from scratch. So it's a lot, but I think it's a better story.
I saw your TikTok on the topic. Yeah, that was a good one.
Thank you.
So I saw, I was present for a panel at Imaginarium that talked about serialized content. And it has inspired me to work on my Vela series.
Nice.
In little 600-word chunks. And I'm just like whirring through it. I'm converting it all to third person.
Sure.
I'm fleshing out scenes that I hadn't fleshed out before, or I had written but lost in the hard drive crash. So I'm basically like rewriting my series.
Does it help or hurt you to have that framework of what you know about the story and where it's going?
Thank God for my outlines. My series Bible was a hard copy.
Sure.
Oh man, if it wasn't for if I hadn't handwritten my outlines in my series journal, I don't know what I would have done. I mean, it's bad that I lost the prose, but at least I remember how, like, what happens.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
I know
like how I got to point
B when they know what's happening, so I wasn't sure.
Actually, I get in a hurry to get to that point.
Okay.
So sometimes my transitions kind of... So I'm going to try and lead into it so that I take up the 400, and then 200, I just punch them in the face.
Okay.
I was going to say, I'm kind of the same way. I've as I'm going through these edits, I keep getting notes about that I'm so focused on the action that I'm just kind of glossing over the background. And so my editors...
Who cares about the background?
My editor's comments are all about provide more detail, give us more atmosphere, that sort of thing.
During combat?
No, not so much during combat, but just in general.
Oh, you're having White Room problems?
Yeah. She feels like a lot of it is White Room, and she's not tracking what's going on very well. And my wife just got home, so I should see if she needs any help. Be back in a second.
Okay. Well, why don't we cut to our first sprint?
That sounds good.
So let's see. Andy's working on short stories, and hello, Desdemona. Desdemona is here for more world building.
Cool.
So let me go ahead and get this timer up, and let's get some words in. Let's see. Timer. Desdemona says that she loves the details. The issue is probably too many details.
No.
I know some people are overwriters and some people are underwriters, and I am both. I will overwrite the internal monologue and I will underwrite the room and descriptions.
I am exactly the opposite.
Yeah. You have to know which parts you really like to play with and which parts you don't. And for people who like action, don't give me more than 2 paragraphs of description without having something happen. So
no, and like if you love world building and all the details
for Rita too,
and all of that, than series Bible for real.
Yeah.
And
And
that way you have a reference when you do your not info dump, you know.
Yeah.
I do gory details in this series, so I keep them brief, but
Right. Yeah.
they are very specific.
Yeah. So I mean, it all depends on the scene and the chapter and the pacing and everything. But yeah. So let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1. Boom. And we're back. So I had a lot of people in and out of my house. If you run the stream back, you'll see my twin saying hi. My littlest niece and my brother-in-law all swung by and waved at the camera. My older nibbling, they rescued the cat who escaped out the door, and Catticus did not bite or scratch them. So somebody got bonus treats.
And it's Gushy Food Day.
It is. I bummed a ride to the grocery store to pick up Gushy food because my car is in the shop. Remember, was it last time or the first time we went to Imaginarium where my tires died like the week after?
Oh, good point.
This time I have a leak in my coolant in the radiator hose.
Oh, no.
And I was driving back from my sister's house on Friday night, and all of a sudden the check engine light came on, and the coolant light came on, and it started going ding, 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 ding. And I was 2 lights from my house, so I drove home. And the coolant thing was basically empty. I'm just so glad it did not go off while we were driving. But I just had my coolant flushed, and I'm just like, the lid wasn't 100%. Yeah, the lid was slightly askew. Like it still had the it was still under pressure. It still hissed out when I partially unscrewed it, but it wasn't fully seated. So I wonder if that was part of it. I don't know. But
maybe.
The radiator guy isn't in again until Monday or Tuesday. So I had to bum a ride so I could get Gushy food because I understood the importance of Sundays.
Yes.
So how was your sprint?
So my husband and I kind of cleared out what used to be the room that Kibby was using as storage. So we cleared everything out, and all the stuff that's going to be donated and stuff is in the living room. So
did Kibby help sort through that, or was Kibby like everything there I don't care about?
Kibby helped organize all the stuff that was mine throughout the house.
Sure.
So there were a series of boxes that were all me, but I have like one more box that I'm like, where am I going to put these books?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have so many journals.
Yeah. And you found your series Bible, you said.
Well, I never lost it.
Oh, I misread. I'm sorry.
I would be doomed if I had lost it. Holy crap.
Gotcha.
Having the outlines is like super helpful.
Yeah.
Critical, yeah.
So, Doc,
if I got the prompts, I can rewrite.
Awesome.
Well, let's see. We captured a cat, and we've got a new a chip feeder or microchip sensitive feeder because we have to put Trill on a special diet. So we had to capture her and program it so that it opens for her, which is always an adventure because Trill does not like being held in place or picked up and moved.
I see.
But
quite fraught.
We got that programmed for her. Now we just have to wash the bowls, get the bowls washed so that we can start using it.
Sure.
We've already been using that sort of thing for Gilly because the vet has recommended that we cut Trill off of dry food, and it was easier to put the dry food in a chip reader bowl. But now we're going to be like completely segregating their stuff because we're going to get a special dry food for Trill. So it's vet adventures here at the Coleman household.
Oh my goodness. So much cat wrangling.
Yep. But I did manage to get some editing in. talking about
nice.
the nature of revolutionaries.
Ooh.
And why wealthy people don't tend to be revolutionaries, because
The
they
system is working for them.
Yes.
either the system is working for them, or they're using the whole revolution thing in order to push themselves higher up in the pecking order.
Yeah. So let me pop over to the comments real quick. Let's see. Desdemona uses world anvil for all of their details, likes having the prompts. Rita is also lost without their series notebook. Desdemona needs to save all the details and stuff offline at some point. Definitely back up.
Yeah, if you
Print
don't
it
have
out.
3 backups in 2 forms, it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Hard copy.
100%.
100% hard copy.
Desdemona says she has a Google spreadsheet with the series details, timeline, and all that jazz, and decided to write a complex story with layers of things going on. So the timeline is critical.
Necessary.
Yeah. So Andy saw everybody swing by and wave, and says now we just need a Catticus appearance. Not sure where he wandered off to. He did just not tap on the sunroom door, so I would let him in. So let's see. Hello, Alexis. Alexis is here.
Oh my gosh.
Sarah's here, but is being quiet because she can't talk about anything that's not Star Trek today.
I don't see a reason why she shouldn't talk about Star Trek.
I mean, if you need to talk and rant about Star Trek in the feed, go ahead. Hi, Catticus. Let's see. Andy only got 410 words this time around. And yeah, coolant leaks are not fun. And as I said, the lid was not fully sealed, so I'm a little on that one. Desdemona did some research, wrote one sentence, and then decided to download Wonder Draft. So not a lot of words, but named their island Lilith Moon Island. Very nice.
Okay.
Quality stuff. Andy wishes you luck with the chip feeder, and Desdemona has the actual novel in like 3 backups. Yep. That part is good, but not the world building. Okay.
World building, hard copy.
Yeah. My world building is pretty much up here right now.
I hear you.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to the coolant problems. When my wife and I were getting married, I was having problems with my car back then, overheating, and I believe I ruptured a bottom coolant line and then ruptured a top coolant line.
Oh no.
And then I stopped somewhere and my car melted a hole in the radiator and sprayed fluid everywhere. So my wife gave me a new radiator as a wedding present, and it's like one of those, it's like, okay, I thank you. I need this a lot. I will not be able to keep this because it's going with the car when I get rid of it.
When I get rid of it, yeah.
I hear that.
It was very necessary at the time, but yeah. Coolant leaks are a pain in the butt.
I had an unopened thing of coolant in my garage, and I remembered that it's supposed to be mixed half and half with water. So that's 2 for me, refilling my coolant.
Whoop.
So yeah, I half filled the tank with water, and then I topped it off with the coolant stuff, and then I drove it to the shop, which is like 2.5 miles away.
Right on.
And they're like, we can give you a ride home. And I'm like, I'm good getting home. It's getting back to the shop to pick it up. Can I come the other way? And they're like, let me talk to my manager. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm in your delivery drop-off zone. I should be in your delivery pickup zone. It's the exact same drive for you. So,
yeah, that makes sense.
Getting back there, because I mean, my roommate probably will be able to, but I don't want to obligate her. So
yeah.
If timing isn't working, so
Yeah, the local dealership is pretty good about that. Is if they'll drop you off, they'll pick you up. But
Yeah, that is, I think, one of the things about living in suburbia. I'm a huge fan of living in suburbia. I'm coming from a small town where it's 45 minutes to the nearest movie theater. You know, and I think 30 minutes to the nearest Walmart or Target. I mean, we're not like, we're in the middle of everything, but not actually at anywhere.
my wife is making this wonderful appalled face at the idea of driving 45 minutes to get to a movie theater.
Yeah, yeah. And 25 minutes to the, I mean, we have a little Ace in town, but like for the lumber and stuff, it's just, you got to drive. You got to drive places. But yeah,
Here too.
suburbia doesn't have those wide open spaces, but you also have to drive to get places or use the bus, but suburbia buses are not convenient
Reliable.
or reliable.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
They go the long way around, and sometimes they just skip.
Sometimes they don't show up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
It's like, oh my god.
yeah. So yeah, Sarah says we have a theater in town, but it's 30 minutes away in town. Yeah.
I think mine is 10 minutes away.
Yeah, like if I'm going to the movie theaters, it's like a 20-minute drive on the other side of town, but there's things between me and it, and it's that far away because of the stoplights, not because of the mileage.
So I'm finding myself sitting here thinking about the town where I grew up, where we had a choice of movie theaters. We had a movie theater downtown that had 3 cinemas. That was like a 5-10 minute drive. It was mostly because of downtown traffic, to swing up and drop people off, and then if the driver was going to the movie too, they had to find a place to park. And then we had the new movie theater out by the mall, which was like the big 12 Cineplex type thing, but it was out by the mall, which was all of 5 miles away. And my family would not go out to the mall unless they had more than one thing to do because it was so far. 5 miles, so far.
I just drove
It
like
was too
13.
far to just go see a movie and then come back. You had to have multiple things that you were doing out there. So
I drove 13 miles to have lunch with my former roommate today, and that was convenient. There was a little bit of traffic on the way home, but I was expecting that.
And now I'm living in a town which I refer to as being an hour from everywhere, because it seems like any place I want to go to, any friends I want to visit, live an hour away minimum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So popping into the comments, Sarah says that theater in town that's 30 minutes away, it's like 12 miles, so it's not far, but they also have one in the opposite direction about the same distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 30 minutes. Yeah.
And that's why my graduating class was 52 kids, and half of the teens spent their weekends, four-wheeling and drinking in the cornfields, because there's nothing literally better to do.
Yeah.
So, what about another Sprint? Oh, Catticus did join us.
Yay! Cat TV.
So let's see if I scoot this way.
Cat.
A little more cat.
He's a loaf.
He's a kitty loaf. My loaf of kittiness. So, okay. Let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1. Boom, chaka laka laka laka. And we're back. How was your sprint?
You're muted, Sako.
I just unmuted myself. That's so weird. Mine's not done yet. So yeah.
I finished my chapter and started the next one.
Okay.
Yep.
Me too.
I think I wrote about a page, but then I had to back up a little and then go forward again.
Did about 500 words, which
nice.
Wrapped up one episode and then continued on to the next.
Nice. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out which point of view character, and I think I found out a way to work in the third character. So like all three of them are involved in the same court case and like things and stuff. So I'm just trying to a lot of mental gymnastics trying to figure out how to balance all the storylines with this section.
I just post-its digital, but post-its nonetheless. And different colors for the different characters so that they all get the same amount of screen time.
I have a spreadsheet for that, but one of the characters had doubled the amount the other two did, so I definitely built them up because they were secondary characters, you know, but they were also pretty key point of view characters because they had their own storyline and everything like that.
Right.
So I'm just, I think I need to add in one more of the primary character because otherwise this isn't going to balance right. But I do need more told from her alien space captain's point of view. Because captain, my captain, but not like that.
Oh, captain, my cephalopod. No.
Exactly. So, popping into the comments. Hello, Maggie is here. A little late because time zones exist and they're silly. And Sandy Linder is here. Hello, Sandy. You did, in fact, get in just at the end of a sprint, but we still have at least one more. So don't worry about it. They are 23-minute sprints and we'll be getting started. I don't marathon like you do.
What kind of sprints does Sandy do?
I went to a workshop she did last year on marathon writing where she has all her sandwiches pre-made and a note on the door saying go away to her neighbor, and then she just goes all weekend long. So
wow, that's a thought.
You know, she can do the 10K 20K weekends, which is not my jam. But I definitely can do smaller sprints. I just have I need more pauses in my cycle, really.
I have no idea how many words I've put into this project so far.
Yeah, I think doing a lull is a bit much for a sprint.
It's not showing me my total word count.
Huh, that's frustrating.
That's weird.
So let's see. Popping back to the comments. Let's see. Sandy is going to open one of her works in progress for the next sprint. Rita got so much done. Yay. Awesome. Desdemona is watching one of the Wonder Draft tutorials right now. Maggie is doing the second or third deep grammar pass of her 15 steps of editing using 3 different grammar checkers. Especially since you do so much fast drafting and self-pub, those grammar checkers are key. As long as you use the human element to assess whether or not they're right.
Deep grammar checking from the beginning of time, written in the ancient tomes. Right?
So Andy got 600-ish words.
Nice.
Solid. Quite respectable. Let's see. Sarah's computer is still at the repair dude's house, so it doesn't have writing stuff to work on. Forced break. I know. It's rough. Yeah. Sandy does 72-hour sprints. Those are marathons, not sprints, but yeah. And Andy is very envious.
72 hours is a work week. not a sprint.
That's a work week.
Yeah. And Maggie thought she was hardcore with the hashtag 5 a.m. Writers Club every day. Yeah, Sandy is amazing. I unfortunately can't do that. But we all write differently, and I'm excited that she's found what works for her. So
I gotta sleep.
Right. Let's see. Sarah did some logo work, so she's not working on writing stuff.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Maggie says that the human element with grammar checks is definitely necessary because grammar checkers never agree with each other, and she hasn't figured out how that happens. The algorithms are different, Yeah.
So. Well, there's so many special cases they can't model them for the computer to figure them out.
Yeah. So. Nightbot thinks we should do a quick little stretch break, and Nightbot is usually right.
Oh, Nightbot, I need a masseuse to come and work on my back.
Right. I forgot to schedule, so I've been getting regular massages. And my guy books up 3 months in advance, and I did not realize that I was not scheduled after July.
Oh, man.
So I have like one in October, and his books aren't open past there. So I'm on his if somebody cancels call list because they're allowed to pick their hours, and most of the people who work there have decided they want to do day shift done by 5. And he keeps trying to tell them the money is at night and weekends when people with day jobs who can afford to tip you decently are off work. So he's one of the few that does nights and weekends. So and he does deep tissue. So yeah. Oh. So okay, let's pop back into the comments. Sandy said she only does the 72-hour marathons twice a year. Otherwise, she's doing the same kind of weekend and evening stuff the rest of us do. So, Sarah says that her cat, who is named Lore after the Star Trek TNG character, knocked her Captain Picard figure on the ground, and it feels like he knows what he's doing.
Oh, he totally knows what he's doing. Come on.
Oh,
Lore's got to take them captains now.
Laura's such a jerk.
Oh, why do I have a summer cold on the weekend?
So you can recover?
Yeah, but I have a day job that gives me sick leave, and I was going to get so much editing done this weekend and finish this chapter.
And you've got a day job where you can work from home, so even though you're sick and sneezing, you can still get work done.
Yeah, but I would probably have taken a couple hours off because yesterday I napped pretty hard and I slept in, and
Yeah, I bet you did.
So
yeah, I am an advocate of the 6-hour workday, because it's like everybody's starting to tap out around. We're going from hour 6 to hour 7, so and it's
I do 5 hours.
If I can only get 5 hours of constructive work during the day, why do I have to pretend to spread it over 6 hours? Why can't I just get it done and go home?
I found out that if I give myself 5 hours instead of 8 hours in order to get my job done, I get the job done in 5 hours.
Yeah.
So
I learned that with NaNoWriMo. If I have 2 hours to get my words in, it takes me 2 hours. If I have 90 minutes, it usually takes me 2 hours. If I have 8 hours, it takes me 8.5 hours. My writing will grow for whatever the time I give it. So, Sandy said she read my blog about the travel through all the rainstorms and thinks that extra naps are in fact in order.
I have not taken a nap in like a month.
Yeah, that's on you, really.
Yeah.
No, I've just been so busy.
But my naps tend to occur in the mornings after I wake up and realize I'm too tired to go into work, call in sick, and then go to sleep until noon.
That's not a nap. That's a rollover. That's a totally different thing.
That's how my body works. I do not nap.
My nap time usually attacks me between 1 and 3. but I've been working through and planning stuff during those hours, so no more nap time for Sako.
My nap time wants to hit me about 3 in the afternoon when I'm still at work. Which again goes back to I should only be working 6 hours.
That's what I like to call the post-lunch coma.
Yeah.
When the food hits your stomach and
If food was had.
I kind of hit a wall. Yeah, I know some people
It
the
actually
ADHD
reminds me to eat, actually.
I'm not one of those ADHDs who forgets to eat. I'm the boredom snacker.
I'm not ADHD, but I forget to eat. So, like 3 o'clock rolls around and I start, oh, I should eat something. I'll be energetic after I eat. Yeah.
I did notice during the pandemic, if I started to get chilly, it was lunchtime because I would get colder when I hadn't eaten regularly.
Ditto.
I'm also not a coffee or tea person, so yeah.
I have noticed that when I get home from work, if I start getting sleepy, that means it's time for dinner. And once I eat dinner, I wake right up. It's like it's for some reason after work, it's like tired is hungry, and fed is awake. So
I can see that for some stuff. So Maggie, yes, my writing is in fact like that expansion foam stuff. Maggie says for her that nap participation is dependent on whether she's having a migraine or not.
Oh, I got that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that her OCD goal mind forgets to remind me to eat because must finish project.
That.
Yeah. When I'm busy, it's when things are going well, I might forget. When things are not going well, I need chocolate. So Rita says that their hubby always naps after work and it could be 11 a.m.
Oh. My hubby does it after dinner. So I usually let him nap.
I try not to nap later than 7 p.m. because otherwise I'll struggle to sleep. So
yeah, he's usually asleep between 8:30 and 9, 10, something like that.
If I nap after 7:30, it's like see you in the morning.
Me too.
I hear that. So, what do we say about another sprint?
Sure.
We do appear
see if I can pick up my spot.
And there's Gilly.
Hi, Gilly.
All right.
Catticus is zonked out right behind me. He had a lot of people over at the house he had to supervise, and it's a very exhausting job for his little kitty. He's a pandemic kitty. He's not used to having people at the house.
Yeah.
So how does he deal with your sister?
It's a person in the house, and she usually shows up when with the toddler who is so sus and unpredictable. So okay, well, let's go ahead and sprint for 23 minutes because Morgan is easily amused and it's 2023. And let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, boom, chakalaka. And we're back.
Ta-da.
How was your sprint?
Man, I had some chores I had to do, and then I wrote like 190 words, and considering what my chore was, I feel pretty good about that.
Nice.
Mhm.
Doc?
Yeah, I was kind of amused a couple minutes ago. I looked up at the stream and realized I was the only one still on camera. That both of you had gone off. But
Yeah.
So my roommate is one of my beta readers, and
Cool.
I wanted to bounce the story changes off of her.
mhm.
And she let me know, hey, if you're trying to get away from coincidences, you can't get rid of that one and then add this one. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's a small town vibe. There's only so many humans in the system, so knowing of them makes sense. But it being the uncle of her cousin's ex-husband might be a little too much.
Yeah.
But there's only 4 restaurants that aren't food trucks in the main town, like,
Yeah.
and they own the 24-hour one. Like,
Oh, I should include that I did homework on Navajo peoples in New Mexico.
nice. Okay.
Okay.
They don't own, but they run. Their landlord owns it.
I was gonna
but-
say that's less coincidence and more kind of forced hand because it's such a small community. But
yeah, it's a small town. They're gonna know, oh, are you so and so's nephew, kind of niece, whatever, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. The humans are trying to pull one over, and it's like, hey, no, I'm sponsored as an apprentice by the Deep Council of the planet. You
Mhm.
can't push this one under the yeah. So
You can't bury it in the mud and let the silt fall over it.
yeah, which is a lot better than them randomly coming across the ship that shot them down, limping back to civilization and capturing them. No, the authorities have captured them. They're accusing them of having attacked first, but they don't know things and stuff. So anyway, spoilers.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Hopping to the comments, Sarah had to restart her auxiliary computer, and then it was cranky about it because she's on her backup computer.
Mhm.
Oh wow, go Sandy! Sandy did fabulous. Got 717 words at the quote end of the intro of a new short story that she has to get moving on. Yay! I'm so glad. That's
I was
awesome.
going to say 717 words is half a short story most of the time.
That's
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, I struggle with where to end short stories. Depending on the story, they're as long as they need to be. And some are
Exactly.
1,000 words, and some are 15,000 words. So,
And some are 5.
Yeah.
so awesome. I'm so excited. And I know where my scene is going, so I'm excited about that.
Yay.
So,
Always good to know where your scenes are.
yeah. So,
Because if you don't know that things have to blow up.
yeah. Sandy says the current short story needs to be 5 to 10K, but
Okay.
still, that's what,
That's still a big chunk.
15% right there,
Mhm.
maybe 20%.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and says direction for the scene is good. Yay! I'm happy with it. So.
Yeah. Always good to know where the scene's going because otherwise things have to blow up and then it can
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I'm gonna continue writing after this, I think,
Yeah.
so that I can make my goal of
Right.
completing the. I don't know, because 600 words is so small,
Yeah.
and I gotta have a point to the episode. Like, it really exercises my flash chops.
Yeah, 600 words. You gotta get right to the point with as a few words possible.
Right to the point. Exactly.
Yep.
still map making. Ooh,
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So what are you working on your series Bible, right? Or are you rewriting the stuff you lost? Is that where you're at?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you starting with book 1, or are you
Mhm.
okay? Are you going to start at the beginning and work your way through, or jump around to scenes you best remember?
Well, 1, 3, and 5. No,
Okay.
6. 1, 3,
Okay.
and 6. I had written and then lost them.
Sure.
I have the outlines for them, so I might be able to write them again.
Okay.
But there were scenes in the first book that I never wrote, so
Oh, okay.
I'm writing that scene now and splitting it up. Apparently,
Right. Okay. Okay. So, popping into the comments, Desdemona is still working on map making.
What is Wonder Draft?
I think it's an app,
It is
like a
but
world building app, but I'm not sure.
I'm
like
guessing
World
it's for map
Anvil?
making, but
You tell us more, Desdemona.
Google preview text says that Wonder Draft is an intuitive yet powerful fantasy map creation tool for 64-bit Windows 10, Linux, and Mac OS X.
Oh, it's 10. Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that didn't say much.
It's intuitive and powerful for map making.
Apparently.
So let's see. Popping into the comments, Sandy says that flash fiction for her is challenging. Dang.
yeah.
Maggie.
I love.
Ooh, nice. Maggie is 28 pages into the third pass of the 3 rounds of grammar passes, but procrastination is distracting with the knowledge that there are chocolate chunk cookies in the kitchen.
So it's procrastination.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Blue Moon Kraken, hello and welcome, asks how the words go today.
Good.
I have deleted 2 scenes and now I'm moving forward in a new direction and I'm liking them.
Nice.
For me.
Nice.
So
It has
let's
map
see.
specific texture, brushes, and symbols.
Ooh. Desdemona says it's a map app that basically lets you paint maps, and it has map specific textures and brushes and symbols. That's pretty cool.
That's so cool. Is it fantasy specific or does it do other genres too?
Yeah. While they're answering, Maggie said all the hyphens that Google removed, Grammarly wants to put back.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because the
Shake-fisted
hyphens were supposed to be there. No. Except for the ones that really need to be ellipses. But no.
I mean, some of them are supposed to be M dashes.
Yeah, but there's not many of them. No.
Actually, a lot of them are supposed to
Have
be
you
M
seen my
dashes.
writing? Do I know how to use semicolons properly? Rarely. Do I know how to use an M dash? Yes.
You just used a semicolon in a sentence, like speaking.
Yeah. But you can also use M dashes in place of comma separated parentheses, and the trend right now is more M dashes than parenthesizing stuff. So, or am I wrong? Should I be parenthesizing instead?
But my parentheticals are so special. No.
I mean, mine are more special.
Yep.
So
I'll have to experiment with that with this project.
Yeah.
See, I always look at a parenthetical phrase as kind of like an aside in theater.
Yeah,
So
no, they totally are.
Bless you.
It's additional bonus information.
Yes. I looked for the mute and didn't find the mute in time.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
Yup. So popping to the comments, Sandy says, is it nicer than Encarta? Because I can make a mess that looks terrible in Encarta.
I know of Encarta.
Yeah. So Desdemona says, I think it's older than Encarta, although they have a beta. Desdemona did not download the beta, though. So
All
there's
the pain
Patrick.
of deleting stuff and then the journey of
Yeah.
rewriting it. Yeah.
So let's see. Blue Moon sympathized with the pain of deleting stuff and the journey of rewriting. Yeah. It was some stumbling out of the block, but now it's starting to move. So
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Alana?
Uh-huh.
Something like that. I can never remember her name, but I have an interview on my channel with her.
Oh, fun.
She was a gamer turned author,
Ooh.
and then she gave the advice where
we don't know any of those.
She basically said that if she hit a wall, she would just start deleting stuff until she felt like writing again. Because obviously the story had gone a direction that wasn't working.
I mean, sometimes, but I don't delete. Okay. I did delete, but only because once I finished draft 2, I made a copy and labeled it draft 3. So if I need those words back, they're in draft 2.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's a very write or die way of going about things.
Yeah.
I miss Write or Die, man.
More
Is it
power
not still
to
up there?
I think it is. I don't think the app is like a thing anymore. I
But the
think
website is.
the website is still a thing. Is there still like a downloadable app?
I have no idea. I've never.
It was never free. You had to pay for it.
I was
There's
never
a link to download version 3.
Oh.
And there's a note, I don't know when it was from, that said, sorry for having ghosted, but I'm back.
Oh, okay, cool.
But there's no timestamp for that, so I don't know when the announcement
when that out. Was posted. Yeah,
it could have been 5 minutes ago, it could have been 10 years ago. I have absolutely no clue.
I just never got into the idea of, oh, you're just sitting there, I'm going to start deleting your words. It's like, no!
Kamikaze mode.
Yeah. Not
when the
me.
screen turns red and starts deleting words.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that once. Never again. Too much stress.
My gosh.
But I got the words in.
Yeah. So popping back to the comments, since they're way ahead of us, Patrick said, computers are kind of atrocious at hyphen rules. Sandy learned the art of randomly inserting M dashes and ellipses from Charlotte Bronte. So it's been around for a while.
Yep.
Okay.
Maggie uses way too many ellipses instead of M dashes. Patrick says 19th century Britlit is basically a survey of how to make sentences so long that even Faulkner blushes.
I used to have a formula for building sentences, and it would make my sentences super long. And I started realizing that if I was going to write Flash, I needed to split it up.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say that's part of the voice of my Crackle and Bang stories is you have these ridiculously long strings of clauses that still make sense.
Yeah.
My partner, when he tried to read my YA, he said my sentences were too choppy for him, and that wasn't the style he could read easily. But more power to you. I'm just not going to read it.
Oh, that's so peculiar.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a landmark of the of YA.
Unclear. Well, I don't know that he reads YA. I think he was just reading my work.
Oh.
Because it was mine. But yeah.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. Let's see. Rita uses a lot of ellipses. Maybe Rita needs to start dabbling with the M dash. For the map maker, Desdemona says it's fantasy leaning, though I found some buildings that would let you build a creepy Halloween town. So she's going to play with that at some point.
Oh, maybe like a D&D, like Strahd.
And some like Asian style buildings. And
Neat.
So let's see. Maggie also uses italics and single quotation marks for thoughts and bold italics for text messages.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right
Blue
on,
Moon
Mama.
wants to know who's writing what. So everybody put your comments in the chat, and when I cycle back to it, I'll talk about what I'm doing. Let's see. Maggie says, I do everything wrong. Brain damage for the win.
What? Those aren't wrong. They're just old.
It's as long as you're consistent, roll with it.
I'm a little archaic with the way that I write, apparently. Like grammar wise and
Yeah,
punctuation wise and stuff.
sure.
So, like, I need to read recent stuff to see what newfangled grammar is doing.
Right. Yeah. So Maggie says, I remove and save into a different folder. And Maggie has 8 days until she has to save a new editing copy and change the dates on all the works in progress. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Moon says, this is why I outlined my work in progress as a first-time writer. It helps me stay organized and on track. I am a plantser. That means I do high-level outlines and then ignore them until I get stuck. But it gives me a direction to go in. It means I do light-level planning.
Yep.
And that can look different for every single writer. I think planner versus writing by the seat of your pants or exploratory writer versus plantser in the middle. I think it's a spectrum, and we're all somewhere along here.
Yeah, I'm more on the discovery writing side than Morgan is, but I still have a few key scenes that I want to hit. I'm just much more flexible about what I do between those scenes in order to get to the right place. And
yeah.
So
Rita says, yikes to just deleting words. Legit. Or right there with you. Desdemona says that Wonder Draft is $30, but it's a one-time fee. Legit.
Cool.
Sandy says, Sandy had a touch of a panic attack at the idea of deleting until being ready to write again. Now she'll put a doc on a thumb drive and put that on a shelf, but
I would make a copy.
Yeah.
And then edit the copy.
Yeah.
Start deleting.
Right. Desdemona says, I found a menu. The Asian style buildings are specifically from the Tang Dynasty. Thank you.
Cool.
So, okay. Blue Moon Kraken wanted to know what we were writing. Doc is also known as Scalesley. Did I say it right this time?
Nope. It's Scalesley on Twitch.
Yes. Go ahead and tell them what you're working on.
And I said that I'm in edits now, but I write steampunk comedy adventures. So I'm writing tales about mad science, manners, and mayhem.
Which book are you on now?
I'm currently editing book 2. I have written the first draft of book 3, but gonna come back to that after I have done the audiobook for book 1.
Yeah, so we have Perils of Prague,
The Kindred of
Kali,
which is in edits right now, and the third one is The Rage of Ragnarok.
There we go.
That's the fun one. That's about encountering Viking sky pirates operating over Southeast Asia. And that expression on Sako's face is exactly the reaction I want to get from people.
Excellent.
Oh my gosh. How long are your books usually? Like, how many words?
My books are about 100,000 words. Okay. On this edit, Kindred is currently 107,000 words, 719.
Okay.
And
Perils
she's got Perils. So, and that's like some 300 pages, or I think it's 296 pages, just shy of 300. But
nice.
But it's a decent size for book.
290.
290? Okay.
Yep.
I thought it was like 296, but okay.
No. Well, I mean, 290 is the last one of the story. That's where the end is, and then it says about the author and want to know more, etc., etc.
Yeah, that's probably your 6. Yeah.
Yep, that's probably my 6. Yeah.
Sako, what do you write?
I write Supernatural horror, urban fantasy with horror overtones. I'm working on converting a 6-book series to a Vela series. It would go in the thriller section, I guess, because there's no horror section. I don't know. But yeah, horror.
Yeah. I write fantasy all the way across the spectrum. I have a YA fantasy with a pile of rejection letters, a middle grade school play fantasy story, a gender bent Robin Hood historical. Is it a fantasy? Is it a romance? As soon as I figure it out, it will no longer be a rough draft and I will edit it. And I'm currently working on what I call my space fantasy. Where humans sail the aether stream between solar systems, and our aliens are, please don't call us octopus people, sailing the aether in nautiloid ships pulled by space manta rays, and is a Baba Yaga retelling. So I'm
So
all
cool.
over the fantasy spectrum. This was my attempt at sci-fi, but nobody can tell me I got the rules wrong because it's fantasy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am in chapter 43, fixing the ending, and I've got 2 more chapters before the denouement. So
Nice.
trying to get all the elements to come together is where I'm at right now.
Oh, so close.
Yeah. So Rita writes young adult urban fantasy with lots of witches.
Yeah,
Sandy,
I have lots of witches.
right? Sandy says right now all her works in progress are epic fantasy, except for one. She has a work in progress for her holiday fairy series. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Mama Maggie is editing a contemporary overcomer fiction for her Pagosa Cliff series, sci-fi fantasy for the Relic of Time series, book 4. Ancient Ice Apocalypse publishes on August 10th. That's awesome.
I've got a YA trilogy in my back pocket that I think of as my fairy story.
Right.
My fairy story is already for sale.
Yeah. So, and Mama Maggie also just published an urban dystopia with sprinkles of conspiracy and comedy called How to Become a Crazy Cat Lady to Survive the Zombopocalypse.
Yep, that just happened.
Okay.
I'm a self-confessed #genre slut.
So that means that the cats will eat the zombies?
You'll have to read it to find out.
I guess I will.
Maybe they just alert when the zombies show up. I don't know. So Patrick is finishing edits. I'm so proud of you. On a queer historical
High fantasy.
High fantasy.
High fantasy.
No, Patrick does not write fantasy.
He doesn't do
So I'm
high
gonna
fantasy?
say historical fiction.
Historical fiction.
Unclear. Explaining the origin of a law firm that wins unwinnable cases. Maybe it is high fantasy, but that doesn't seem likely. And free writing a Robin Hood retelling outline. Maggie thinks you have amazing world building, Doc.
Oh, thank you.
Are you going to blush? So, Desdemona is also a genre slut, I think is what she was saying same too. Andy is not sure if this counts as a sprint thing, but he helped his wife redo the garage when she got back. Yay, productivity.
Hey, productivity.
Blue Moon says, I wish I was as interesting. All I'm doing is a pirate adventure high fantasy. That sounds super fun. Nothing fantastic.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah, but the outline came to 25 chapters, and I'm aiming at a minimum of 75K. Yeah,
that's
perfectly solid.
High fantasy is by definition fantastical.
And you throw in pirates, and it just becomes more interesting, right?
Yeah. So Sandy suggests I have a romance too.
Yeah.
Maybe. But when I edit it, currently I have adventure chapters based on the original works and more romantic chapters based on the stuff I have put in there. And they do not read like they were written by the same person. So I need a little more.
Or a little work.
They need some work.
Some massaging, yeah.
And sci fantasy is a real genre.
It is.
It was here first. Hey, no, because it was originally
Desdemona,
science fantasy. So
nice. Desdemona is just calling their story speculative fiction because it's also a bit genre bending, kind of sci-fi, but follows a mystery crime format and deals with a lot of relationships and trauma. Ooh, wow, yeah.
yeah, the human experience.
The story is cats versus zombies. So, and Patrick says I was correct. Historical fiction. Okay. Remember last week I was hist-ficking along and Doc was horribly confused.
That's funny.
Maggie says ancient Egyptians kept cats because they were discovered the children of Bastet were protectors and the cure.
Always important to have the cure.
The funny part is the main character is an allergic librarian, but I did take the toilet scene out because 2 betas said it was too lowbrow. But be honest, how many of us have had a cat jump on our lap while on the potty? I have not. Mine likes to play paw tag, though, from around the shower curtain.
Mm-hmm.
So, Blue Moon Kraken loves pirate stuff, so has a chapter 1 of the draft done so far, and it's a huge world and plans on this being book 1 of a 5-book series. Just make sure they each stand alone. I mean, overarching themes is great, but each story needs to be a story. And Blue Moon, I thought to myself, too much historical or real world pirate books, not enough pirate fiction. So they thought they'd try their hand at leaving an impact. That's awesome.
Nice.
Fun fact, my college boyfriend became a lawyer, went back to school, and is now getting his PhD in 17th century French piracy. Went to France to get original historical documents to read and do his research for his doctorate. Whoa. So if you need any research specific to the 17th century pirates, let me know. I still talk to him on occasion.
Letters of marque and that such.
Oh, Blue Moon says what a specific degree. I think that's his specific doctoral thesis, not the degree, but that is his expertise as a history major. So... Rita says the potty incident with the cat has happened a few times. And Maggie is cheering on Blue Moon's world building.
Yeah.
Matology. Sandy asks, so what does one do with a degree in French piracy?
Go to Williamsburg.
Teach.
Yeah.
First, you got to get a boat, and then you got to get a crew.
I don't know if he can sail. I need to ask him. I do know one of his friends one of our mutual friends did spend some time working on one of those reenactment ships. So
we have pirate reenactors.
That was the pirate marriage between male pirates, typically, where when they're out to see their mates or they're mated with each other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm being corrected. It's Matilotage.
Matalotage.
Sorry. Thank you. So, Blue Moon thanks us for the cheers and is planning on getting crazy with it. For example, building airship-style ships and using wind magics to make them fly to floating islands.
Mm-hmm.
We've got somebody who does flying dirigibles.
Yeah.
Well, Sky Pirates kind of gives it away.
just a wee bit. And I mean, the best thing about writing fiction is, if you're writing a story and you're like, you know what I don't see enough of in stories? Puppy dragons. Sort of like a luck dragon, but, puppy dragons, you can put them in your story. Nobody's stopping you.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I see a disturbing amount of urban fantasy that is not horrific. So I'm going to make it horrific.
Oh, okay. So you want it to be horrific.
Horrific in the theme sense, not in the poorly written sense.
Yes,
not in the
that.
execution sense. No.
Not in the execution sense.
Although, I mean, there is some of that. Some is good, some is bad, just like every spectrum, you know? So Sandy says Blue Moon Kraken's got some steampunk about to happen in there. All the genres.
I was gonna say, sounds like he's got some spell punk going on. So
right? Oh my gosh, so much fun. If you were not aware, there is an offshoot of steampunk called Gaslamp Fantasy, which is instead of using gears and stuff, you use magic to power it, but it's the same era and that sort of thing. So it might be something to check out. Blue Moon says, my floating island idea, I kind of was inspired by Avatar and the airships.
Right.
Was inspired by a movie, Mortal Engines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very, and actually the Sky Pirates that are in my third novel were partially inspired by some of the scenes in Mortal Engines. But
that's funny.
And what's the name of Laputa? Oh, Castle in the Sky.
Castle in the Sky, yeah. Ghibli from way back in the day.
Yeah. So I actually had the book as a kid, but I never saw the movie until college. So yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, if you don't at least appreciate Ghibli, then you might as well just get off my stream right now.
Yeah.
Just go. So,
oh my gosh, have you seen the storyboard books?
For which? Oh no.
I saw Spirited Away like in storyboards, and it's like watching the movie.
That's so fun.
It's so
my gosh.
Cool.
Although I can see that being a little more up your alley.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool.
So Blue Moon asked if we're making good progresses on our works in progress today. You actually hit us just before we stopped sprinting for the day. So
we're running over by like 20 minutes.
We usually end 20 minutes ago, but the chat was chatting and my nose wasn't running, so
Ghibli storyboard books are amazing.
Yeah,
they are.
Let's see. This weekend I've written between yesterday and today I've written 1,442 words. I think maybe a third of them on this stream, but I figured out where I'm going. And I'm replacing 2 whole scenes. So yeah. Let's see. Maggie says that the Mortal Engine books were better than the movie, but the movie is very cinematic. And I'm in the last 50 pages of my story, and it's just never ending. But I'm hoping to be done by the end of the month.
So it used to be that it used to be that I would like select my draft at the top of the screen in Scrivener, and it would show me everything.
Yeah.
It no longer does that.
Weird. I hate Scrivener, so I can't help you at all.
I don't have a problem with that. If I select the draft, it gives me the entire
thing, right?
Yeah, including all the chapter headings.
Mine does.
I hit 100 followers on Twitch.
Welcome to the affiliate. Welcome to being an affiliate.
I've been an affiliate since 50, I think, but I stepped it up.
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
No idea.
I'm very excited.
That's super rad.
Yeah. Okay. Popping into the comments, Sandy says she's got to go get ready for work. Thanks for joining us.
All right.
Let's see. Maggie says the Ghibli storyboard books look amazing. Blue Moon says I copied the wrong thing. I meant to send the message that they have 10 of the Ghibli films on Blu-ray and needs to add a few more to the collection. Yay, 100. Blue Moon uses Google Docs to write stuff. Scrivener looks so complex and confusing with all the different folks and the groups and the categories and things.
Yep.
I am a UI designer, website designer, computer person. I use not Max. And 5 years ago, I tried Scrivener and accidentally deleted 5 chapters of the tutorial trying to minimize it and have never gone back. And I'm a Google Docs girl, even though I know they're not as non-evil as they used to be. And anybody who complains about large documents just needs to click that work offline button, and it slows the lag 1,000,000%. But I understand Scrivener is some people's jam, and I'm not going to stop them from using it.
Not important what you use, just that you're comfortable with the tool that you're using.
No, there are caveats to that.
Well, if it works for you, it works for you. But
yeah.
Well, it basically, when my computer crashed, all my Scrivener files went up in smoke.
You know.
So if I had been on a cloud, that wouldn't have happened.
So you're not using Dropbox or
No
Box or anything like that. See,
no.
my Scrivener files are in my Dropbox folder, so that means that they get synced into the cloud automatically, and they get synced down to my other computers automatically. So if I lose one computer, I can pick right up where I was off of other computers.
I think I'm going to cut and paste into Google Docs.
Yeah. But yeah, it is important to have a good backup strategy, so that you're not depending on one piece of hardware to work perfectly all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm tinkering with Notion. Trello is great for checklists, Kanban sort of dealy. Yeah.
I use Trello. That's how I keep track of all my blog stuff and like my author spotlights and the blog and the podcast and everything else.
I actually use Google Keep to keep tabs of my GMing. And it's super helpful. You can like color code things and reorganize
yeah. That's why written lists don't work for me, is because I like to reprioritize and
you can pin and unpin stuff. Like it's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm just like loathing the day they get rid of it, because
ironically I'm using Notes on the Mac for that, because it means that it syncs automatically to my phone. So I think of something when I'm out and about, I can grab my phone, I can add a new note. I can check things off when I get them done. It just depends that you find something that works for you, so you can get things done the way you want to do them.
The option to change the icon in Scrivener is, I find, super useful. So I can have like boxes that I tick off when I finish them. So that's very gratifying to me. But I'm kind of like goofing around with Notion.
Okay.
That was my concern.
It looks like
we're having success training the cat to the new feeder already.
Oh, nice. I'm glad to hear it. So Rita said they looked at Notion a few times. It's overwhelming. Notebooks for me. Trello is great for checklists and Kanban sort of thing. Maggie says, I save in 4 places because I also had a computer die and eat months of work because I discovered after that my terabyte drive had a bad sector. I download, I have it on Google Docs so I can have it on 5 things, and then I email a copy after every draft to my Yahoo account from my Gmail account, so I have it in sent and also received on 2 different servers.
Yeah.
So that's my backup method right now. So
I've got Time Machine backups, and then I've got Corbomite backups. So I
got one of these guys that I have not set up yet.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Those things are nice for local backups.
Yeah. So
I have 2 of them plugged in right now.
Yeah. So Desdemona likes Milan Notes.
Milan Notes?
I guess.
No.
Blue Kraken says, being the first timer I am, what is the best way to format, or should I just worry about that later?
Worry about it later.
Yeah, but default standard manuscript is double space, 12 point either Arial or Times New Roman, where each chapter starts about a third of the way down the page, and between scenes you either use a star or a hashtag to indicate the end of the scene if you have a scene break in a chapter.
One of the things that Scrivener does for you is you can write it any way you want it, and you can export it in standard manuscript format.
And each page, except for the first page, should have the page number, your last name, and the first chunk of the title name. So, but yeah, just Google manuscript format and it should come up. So, let's see.
Scrivener is supposed to do that for me, but it is not doing it.
It's one of your compile options.
Compile options. Yeah.
Maggie says she's got a Google Docs, an MS Cloud, a terabyte drive, and a bunch of SD cards in a Faraday box. And once a month, she syncs her old computer with her writing computer. Yeah.
I think the Faraday box may be a bit of overkill, but if it works, it works.
Yeah. Blue Moon Kraken says, speaking of cat, I see squishable flute plopped on the couch. Right behind me. This is Catticus.
I have a black cat that I wouldn't be able to show with the camera.
He's being super sweet and cute right now, and I owe him gushy food because today is gushy food day, which is the best day of the week. And I bummed a ride from a friend to go get it because my car's in the shop, because I recognize the sanctity of gushy food day.
I currently have a ghillie on the couch next to me.
Oh my gosh, mama word.
We are half an hour past. I should probably let my roommates stop hiding in the sunroom and talk to me. So let's go ahead and say our outro. Let's start with Doc. Who are you and what do you do and where do we find you?
I am Doc Coleman. I write steampunk comedy adventure. If you're interested in finding out more about me or my work, you can go to your favorite search engine and search on Doc Coleman Steampunk. And that will help you find my website at doccoleman.com. It'll also help you find my Amazon author page where you can see excerpts from some of my published work and decide if it's right for you or someone you love. And if you're interested in seeing me in person, from the 11th through the 13th of August, I will be in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania at the Key City Steampunk Festival, where I will be selling my books, and my lovely wife will be selling some of her artwork.
Very cool.
Nice. Sako?
Howdy, neighbors. I'm Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things. You can usually Google me as Sako Tumi or Psycho Sako. All my social media, all my sites, all the things will come up. So, yeah. You can find me on the interweb.
And I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood. I had a total mind blank.
You did this weekly live stream thing.
Right. I share writing tips and writerly musings on my blog, vlog, and podcast. This week on the podcast, I was talking about choosing your perspective, voice, and point of view. Over on the blog and the YouTube channel, I was talking about last weekend at Imaginarium, where I got to talk craft with a lot of amazing other writers and things and stuff. And it was super exciting. And yeah, so this week I'll be working on edits and sharing notes from my convention notebook. So yeah, what Maggie says. I put out videos and podcasts. I forgot the verbs.
I do the things.
And oh my goodness. Yeah. So have a great week. Good luck with whatever you're working on or reorganizing the garage, whatever you're doing. Eat snacks, and I'll see you same time next week. Bye. Have fun.